What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Hope you all are getting ready for the holidays coming up. I sure am. And in fact, since I have a lot of things on my plate for once, and that you guys sent me a lot of mailbag questions, I think for today, I'm just going to spend time answering them. Because there's a lot of questions to answer, and then also, for once, there's a lot of things to do for me. I don't know where that came from. There's a lot of things to do. So, let's spend time answering your guys' questions, because there's a lot. I feel like I kind of repeated almost everything, so let's just get straight to it. So the first question is kind of asked by two people, Nicholas Coatent and IceColt706. Has Younghoe Koo done enough to stay with the team? To me, not yet. I need to see him get a lot more NFL experience because he only has 2 NFL years under his belt. One with the Chargers, which he was not good in, and then the other one this year with the Atlanta Falcons, which he only played a second half. So he needs to get a lot more NFL experience. Now, yeah, he's getting better. I'm pretty sure he made a 50-yarder like I wanted him to, and then he got 3 onside kicks against the Saints. He's been getting better for sure, but I need to see a lot more from him because you can't just consider someone your long-term kicker after 1 year. And it doesn't have to be just for kicker. It can be for quarterback. You can't consider someone your franchise quarterback after just 1 year, or your number 1 wide receiver after 1 year. They got to play a lot more than 1 year. And another thing I noticed with Younghoe Koo is that, have you noticed the ball just looks weird when he kicks it? I don't know, something about it it looks weird. When Justin Tucker or Robbie Gould or someone, when they kick it, it looks normal and honestly beautiful. But when Younghoe Koo kicks it, the ball just looks off. I don't know how to explain. It looks off for whatever reason. So he needs to improve his kicking and get more NFL experience to prove he's enough for the Atlanta Falcons. Rise Up ATL asks, what's my way too early 2020 prediction? Well, I'm going to first off say that right now I'm not too optimistic. Because if you keep someone named Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitrov, you're probably going to stay in the same state we're in right now. So let's go over our way too early predictions. We played the NFC East, I think, and then the AFC West. The NFC East is kind of hard to predict because 1 year they're really good and then the next year they're really bad. If we're home against the Eagles, we'll win. If we're away, we'll lose. Same with the Cowboys. Plus, they're probably going to get a new head coach. I don't know if Jason Garrett will still be there. Okay, we'll beat the Giants and Redskins. So maybe the NFC East isn't really as hard as I thought. Then we got to play the AFC West, which will not be easy. The Broncos could be pretty good with Drew Lock. Instead of just for the second half, he'll be playing for the whole year. Then the Chiefs will obviously still be good. Maybe the Chargers bounce back. I don't know. Raiders, that's the only team I'm not really worried about, but you never know. John Gruden has actually been okay with the Raiders. So AFC West is not going to be easy for us. Plus, we just kind of suck playing AFC West. Just AFC opponents in general. Then let's look at the NFC South. The Saints are still going to be tough, but the Panthers are probably going to be rebuilding. And the Bucs are just the Bucs. So the NFC South isn't really all that scary. So maybe it's actually not as bad as I think it's going to be. Maybe we'll be okay in 2020. But at the same time, we said that ever since 2017. We always said we're going to be okay, and then we kind of disappoint. So I don't know. As long as we keep Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitrov, I don't think we're going to go anywhere, to be honest. I think we're still going to finish with a single-digit amount of wins, from 9 to 2 wins. I hate to be negative, but it's just kind of my thought. But yeah, I'm not feeling too optimistic about 2020. Alexander Willie asks, how do you feel about Brian Hill? He played pretty well versus the Jags. He's been fun to watch. Now, would I keep him as my starting running back? No, absolutely not. Would I maybe keep him as a kick returner or a punt returner? Yeah, he's been a pretty good returner. Did he return punts or kicks this year? I'm pretty sure he did. But I also like Kenyon Barner, who has been really kind of quietly impressive this year. But I do like Brian Hill. He's been really fun to watch. He would be a good second or third string running back. I don't know if I'd keep him as a first string because running backs are really hard to keep nowadays. So I don't know if I'd pay him or anything. But he's been pretty fun to watch. Alate Williams, do you think the Atlanta Falcons should update their uniforms? Something like the Titans or Jets. What do you think? Honestly, I'm all in. I am all in for a jersey change. Because not only are our throwbacks better than our modern uniforms right now, but I mean, we're about to enter the 2020s. I feel like it's about time for a change, I would totally be down for a new look. Obviously, I still want it red and black, but I don't know. I want more of a, because I mean, if they can change their stadium, I feel like they should change their uniforms. What would it be? I feel like it should be kind of like the Jets, how theirs is, how do I explain the Jets uniforms? They're, instead of plain green, they turned it into I don't know, it's a badass green. I want a badass red and black uniform change. And the Falcon to look a little more scarier, to be honest. I would totally be down for a uniform change. Yeah, I would totally be down. Trey Lee and Atlanta Falcons ask, should we trade Devonta Freeman for a first round or second round and use them to get Jonathan Taylor? And I'm pretty sure the other one just asked, should we trade Devonta Freeman? Well, we should definitely trade Devonta Freeman. There's no doubt about that one. He has not been good at all. Well, I don't want to say he's just been terrible, but he just hasn't really been who he usually is. And that sucks for me to say because I always loved him both on and off the field, but it is time for him to go. Now, do we trade or draft a running back? I don't know about that one. I do think I want to keep developing Ito Smith and Quadri Ollison and maybe even Brian Hill. But at the same time, running backs don't last that long. So if we were to get a running back, I wouldn't want to get one late in the draft, 6th or 7th round. Maybe just get an undrafted free agent or something. But I really don't want to spend the first few draft picks on running back. Come on, running back is not our biggest need. But yes, we do definitely need to trade Devonta Freeman. Keyshawn King asks, should we keep Dan Quinn? Nope, because he gets things figured out when it is way too late. I don't care. Everyone's going to say, oh, well, the Falcons love him. They play for him. Okay, cute, but can you play for him in the beginning of the season? Stop playing for him in the second half of the season. This is the whole Falcons team problem. Every player is so bad in the beginning of the season. Devondre Campbell, Vic Beasley, sometimes even Deion Jones. And then Dan Quinn, I know he's not a player, but he doesn't ever get things figured out in the first half of the season. And then in the second half of the season, we look so much better. No, I'm not keeping that. I want to release Dan Quinn really, really bad. I honestly feel like a toddler when he wants his toy really bad. I want to get rid of Dan Quinn. I don't care if the Falcons like him. Get rid of him. Whew. Sorry about that. Anthony Romero asks, what are your thoughts about Devondre Campbell? Personally, I would keep him. I think I just mentioned Devondre Campbell. Now, he's been getting better. He's been getting a lot better in the second half. And I kind of like Devondre Campbell, as a person. I think he's just kind of chill. But, ever since he got drafted, everyone said, Devondre Campbell's not perfect, but he's a good linebacker. And then it just got worse and worse, and it's why do you still want to keep him? Just release him. We got Foye Oluokun to develop, then we got Deion Jones, and I maybe would even draft a linebacker in the draft. I would not keep Devondre Campbell. Yeah, he's been getting better, but I wouldn't keep him. The Unknown Gem, or Dominique Roseberry, asks, do you think if Josh McDaniels being OC would prove dividends for this team's success, just like the Patriots? I think it would improve our offense, but if we still have someone named Dan Quinn or Thomas Dimitroff, our offense would look better than it would with Dirk Cutter. But would we still have a winning season? No, because I really don't want to keep Thomas Dimitroff or Dan Quinn. But you never know what happens, I guess. Ghost Peppers ask, who's your favorite obscure Falcon? Mine is number 44 fullback Bob Christian. That's a great question. My favorite obscure Falcon. Wow. That's a really good question. I guess Quadre Allison, because I know Falcons fans know about him, but like nobody else in the NFL knows about him. So I guess Quadre Allison, he's a good player. Actually, I'm gonna say it. Well, people know about Kenyon Barner, but he's not like really famous or anything. I guess Kenyon Barner is a good obscure Falcon. I don't know. That's a great question. But I like Kenyon Barner because not only is he a good punt returner and a good running back, but also, I mean, he is really funny, and I think he kind of provides energy for the team. So I guess my favorite obscure Falcon would be Kenyon Barner. I don't know. That's a great question, Ghost Peppers. Stephen Cole asks, should we get rid of Dimitrov this year? Yes, we should get rid of him. Are the Falcons going to? No, because after that win to the Saints and 49ers, the Falcons are still hesitant to fire Thomas Dimitrov and Dan Quinn. Sorry, Steven, but it's... I really hate to say that, man, but it's what Arthur Blank is so hesitant to do. So that's pretty unfortunate. But yeah, I do think we should release Thomas Dimitrov, but are they going to? No. Zachary Stone asked 2 questions. 1, who is the greatest Falcons quarterback ever? Well, I'm not only going to say Matt Ryan because of his stats and also what he's just done for the Falcons. Like, he led them to a Super Bowl and won MVP and almost won. Like, he came closer than the last quarterback to play for the Falcons in the Super Bowl. But also, I mean, I just want you to be flat out honest with yourself. Like, what other quarterback is better than Matt Ryan for the Falcons? I want you to be flat out honest. Mike Vick is more athletic than Matt Ryan, sure. But I don't know if he's like a better thrower, I guess. I want you to be flat out honest. What other quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons is better than Matt Ryan? You're probably not going to name one. So, in a way, by default, Matt Ryan is the best Falcons quarterback ever, but it's not just this whole by default thing. Like, he led us to a Super Bowl, almost won it, won MVP, and honestly, I think he just brings in energy and is a leader for the team anyway. Like, he didn't do anything bad for the city or anything. I think he's just Matt Ryan. Like, I was about to tear up there. Sorry, guys. He's just Matt Ryan. Like, he's the best Falcons quarterback to ever play. Yeah. And also, another thing I like about him is that he's relatively healthy. Like, he can take hits really hard, but he still gets back up. So that tells me he's an elite quarterback. Anyway, I think I might make a whole Matt Ryan is the best Falcons quarterback to ever play video another time, because I don't want to spend the whole video talking about that. But anyway, number 2, are you also a big fan of the Atlanta Hawks? I do like the Atlanta Hawks, but I'm going to be honest, man. I don't really watch NBA like that much. Like, I only really know the basics of NBA. Like, I only know that Steph Curry is good and LeBron James is like possibly the GOAT. And that the Milwaukee Bucks are good this year. I don't really like, for NFL, I can name like some players that like people don't know of. For NBA, if you name some players like outside of like the really famous ones, I'm not really gonna know them, kind of. So technically, yeah, I am a fan of the Hawks, but I don't really like watch them. I just kind of like, you know, if they're doing good for the year, I'm like, oh yeah, go Hawks, but I don't like watch them, kind of. Same with the Braves. Like, I don't watch the Braves, but I do like them if I were to watch baseball, if that makes any sense. I hope I'm making sense. I think it makes sense. So yeah, I do like the Hawks, but, you know, I'm just kind of more of a football guy. Speed Falcons for life. Do you think the Falcons will get back to the Super Bowl as soon as possible? Unfortunately, no. I think next year is our last shot. Because you would think after next year, if we still have a losing season, we gotta rebuild since after that, right? Like, then after that, you gotta release Thomas Dimitrov. You gotta release Dan Quinn. You gotta release all these players. Because, I mean, the Super Bowl's been a while now. It's been 2016. Like, it's about to be 4 years from now. Or, I think is it 4 years from now? Basically, it is. Like, it's been a while now. If we don't do good next year, you would think, like, we gotta rebuild after that. And I'm going to be honest, I think we're going to do that. Like, I just don't think we're going to be good next year. So the answer is no, I don't think we're going to be back in the Super Bowl, but I hope we are. Dylan Short asks, is Tommy Nobis one of the most underrated Falcons players to ever play with us? I'm going to be honest, I'm saying all of this at the top of my head. I don't really have any notes in front of me. So I can't really answer that question because I don't really have, like, his stats in front of me. Like, you know, if I was judging Tommy Nobis with his stats, because a lot of players get in the Hall of Fame because of their stats. It doesn't really matter what they do on film, to be honest, unless except for maybe Randy Moss. But anyway, I would have to have Tommy Nobis' stats in front of me, but I don't know. I hope he is, because he sounds like a good player. Like, he's Mr. Falcon, so I would assume he's the most underrated player. But I have to have notes in front of me to kind of prove he is. At Dominic Roseberry asks, what if I told you I created my own style of play that will trick any defensive scheme? Well, I would really appreciate that because Dan Quinn didn't work out. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that, sorry. But yeah, I would really appreciate that, man. Show Dan Quinn the playbook. Maybe it'll work. At Falconator HD asks, will the Falcons release James Carpenter, Devon Campbell, Desmond Trufant, Devonta Freeman, Brian Hill, and Keanu Neal this season after consistent injuries, underperforming, and cap issues? I think they'll get rid of some players. Like, I think they'll get rid of James Carpenter, Devon Campbell, maybe Desmond Trufant. Maybe. We'll see what happens with him. Maybe they will. They'll get rid of Devonta Freeman. I don't think they'll get rid of Brian Hill. And for some reason, I feel like they're going to be hesitant to get rid of Keanu Neal, to be honest. So they'll release some players. Yeah, they'll keep Keanu Neal for whatever reason. Then they'll keep Brian Hill. And they'll maybe keep Desmond Trufant. But they're not going to keep James Carpenter, Devon Campbell, and Devonta Freeman. And at JackB1872 asks, is Dan Quinn holding back a talented Falcons team? Yep, because, like I said earlier, he gets things figured out when it's too late. I don't care about your whole brotherhood thing. Okay, well, can you have that in the beginning of the season, dude? Like, no, I'm not going to applaud Dan Quinn for having the team, like, fight for him. You know why? Because they fight for him when it's too late. Why can't you fight for him the whole season? If you love this coach so much, why don't you fight for him the whole season? Why don't you go to the Super Bowl like he wants you to? No, Dan Quinn is not going to be the answer for the Falcons. I think he's holding this team back. And so is Thomas Dimitroff, but both of them are holding them back. So, I've made it pretty clear that I don't think I'm really all that optimistic about 2020, and I hate to be negative about it, but I'm just going to be honest, man. I'm not really feeling too good about it. But, that's all the mailbag questions I have for today. I thank you guys for a lot of them. I had a lot of mailbag questions come in today. Thank you guys. Hope you guys have a great Merry Christmas. A great Merry Christmas. A merry, jolly, amazing Christmas. And I hope you guys just have a happy new year, and I will see you next week at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Rise up.